Hello, everybody. Well, today is a busy day, and I'm getting a late start because I sat around and looked at YouTube for too long this morning. I love to follow those French chateau channels of Canadians and Brits who buy chateaus and fix them up, and it's a deep rabbit hole. But today I have things I have to do. I'm doing sewing this morning, and this afternoon I'm making another batch of bee balm because I'm almost out, and tomorrow is the farmer's market. It comes around every week, and I don't have enough for the market. And tomorrow is a big market. It's going to be Spirit of Christmas in Oriental, North Carolina. There's a parade and all kinds of things going on this weekend. And so there'll be more people in town, and I need to have plenty at the market. But the sewing I'm doing this morning is kind of different. This is one of our remote controls for our little television, or it's not really a television, it's more of a screen device for streaming things or something. I have a remote for my fake fireplace. This is for that TV. We have a remote for our heating and air. And then we just got a new DVD player, which sounds like we're in 1995, but we did. And then we have and that has a remote, and then we have a remote for switching back and forth from streaming to DVD. So now we have 5 remotes sitting on the coffee table. Okay, and I thought I would make a little cloth basket to hold those remotes so that they're not just everywhere. So this is the biggest one, so I wanted to try to make sure that it would hold this. And then as I was coming in and digging out my sewing machine to do that, I remembered what I've gotten some of the grandchildren for Christmas. Where'd that bag go? Where did that bag go? Oh, there it is. Hang on. I have 2 grandsons who love trains and trucks and stuff, and they love Thomas the Train. And I realized that at my Walmart, my local Walmart, they sell these little trains individually, and they're $3.88, which isn't like outrageously cheap, but it's not that expensive, and you can get 1 or 2. And over the course of months, I have collected quite a few. Every time I go, I see, do they have new ones? And I got a few for my train set that I have for the grandsons and the granddaughters if they want to play with them. But then I thought I need to get some for the boys themselves. That's a good idea. So I'm going to lay them out here on the table and show you which ones I've got and tell you what I'm going to plan on sewing with this today. Okie dokie. So these are the ones I found so far. Now these big ones back here were a little bit more. They weren't $3.88, and I did have to find some of these at a bigger Walmart. They have various Thomas the Trains. Some of them that they sell, I don't know why. They're like these Percy's. They're splattered with mud, and I really don't know why they're splattered with mud. There must, see, look at his face here. He's got mud even on his face in the picture. For whatever. I've got 2 nice clean Thomases, the engine, and I've got 2 brake car Bruno. Now, I don't remember Bruno. I do remember Percy, and I remember Diesel. I don't know Naya. When I say I don't know them, I mean that these were characters in the series that were, as far as I know, didn't exist back when my kids were little and we were watching it. Now, here's a Gordon. I remember Gordon. This is Emily. Now, I don't know Emily, but that's a very pretty engine too. Henry was a green engine, so maybe we could just call him Henry. Now, my thought is to make a little cloth bag that would hold all of these. Not necessarily a drawstring bag, maybe one that has a flap and a ziplock on top. I want something the boys can get into and get these out. And I'm also going to take these out of their packaging because I think nothing is more frustrating for a little kid than to get a beloved toy at Christmas and not be able to do anything with it because the packaging is in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and undo these. Now, I have a granddaughter who likes Coco Melon. And I found a couple of Coco Melon vehicles too. I don't know anything about Coco Melon much except for they sing silly songs. But I may get her a couple more of these and make her a little bag too. Oh, the thing that I liked about these trains is that they fit on those standard wooden train tracks that everybody wants, the kind that latch together. And although these are not magnetic, it is possible for little kids to latch them together with, this one has kind of a loop attachment there. And you see that this one, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. the loop clips into there. And so if you just put one on top of the other and push down, they attach and they're easy to get apart. So not magnets, but they work pretty well. So we're going to get started on this project. This may take me all morning. I've got to make one remote control bag and 3 little vehicle bags. Okay, I'll show you what happens. Aren't they cute? I just love trains. Okay, I'm going to do my own basket first as I try to remember how to make these baskets. So that's the shape that I've ended up with. Now I need an interior piece as well that I don't know which one I want to lay over the other one. I love this fabric the most. I might put a little bit of this in the bottom to make sure that it sits well. That's a thought. Okay, I'm gonna go find some other fabric. Okay, so this is the other fabric that I picked out because I have a lot of it. And I think I wouldn't mind having that as the liner on the inside. This is the fabric I really adore. Okay, so I've just laid it on top of there as a pattern, and now I'm going to cut out an identical. Okay, I'm going to do the liner first because, like I said, I'm trying to remind myself. It would be nice to take 20 minutes and look at the old video that I learned from, or even look at my previous video, which I'll put a link to up there. But, you know, I'm ready to be done. So I'm going to turn it right sides together, do the side seams first, and then do this corner seam, okay? And the other side. Okay, and then you open up the corner so that the fold and the seam are together, and you hold it straight like that. It should be nice and even, same length on each side. Okay, and the other side, this looks like it's going to be gargantuan. Oh dear. See how wide the bottom of this is going to be? Well, it's definitely long enough for the remote, but it's also insanely wide. If I had done the boxes smaller, yeah, I wasn't really thinking, I was thinking about length, but not about that width on the base. Okay, so we're going to continue with this. See, I was hoping for a base that was about this wide. Instead, I have gotten a base that's about that wide. I wonder if it's too late to change it now. All right, I have fiddled and fiddled. You see how much I folded this down. I folded it until that sewn edge overlaps this batting base down here. What a mess I've made. What do you think? You're probably horrified. It's turned into more of a fabric tray, which is fine. I guess I wish I could get the sides to stand up better. And that would probably happen with another piece of fabric. I don't know though, maybe it's just too big to do that. And maybe when I stitch it around, that will help some. I'm going to, you know, kind of miter those corners, as they say, a bit. It's not the same when you're using the same fabric as doubling instead of two identical bowls. But I think I'm going to sew this down first, get it where I want it, and then I'm going to pin this very carefully and finish it up. But that's a little better size, I think. I've turned on the heater in here to combat the cold, and I've got myself a pot of creamy tea for sustenance as I battle this project. Now, I did sew down all of this, and I kind of used this center panel as my guide, and I tried to make the stitch lines match up here at the corner, assuming that the geometry will work out if I give it a good foundation like that. So now I'm going to work my way up to these edges. Now I have decided to press these corners all the way out to the corner of the base there instead of fudging. It gives me a bigger bottom to this basket, or tray, whatever you want to call it, but I think it's a more honest depiction of what it really is to use that full base. And now I'm going to run some stitching all around that edge to kind of reinforce that. Well, my little remote control tray is finished, such as it is. I've learned many things. Here it is. First of all, it looks nothing like what I was intending to get. Although, I mean, I like the resulting shape. I like the idea of a tray. I think this is great. I ended up using this fabric instead of this fabric, which I really wanted. In the end, I think I showed you the bottom. And then I also ran a line of stitching around the top. And I took a little tuck in each corner to kind of cinch up that edge so that it would be a little more, especially these edges would stand up a little better. And I think that's a good idea. It's a little wonky and has a little extra fabric in the corners and stuff. That's a result of trying to fix it as I go. But I think it'll be perfect for what I intended it for. I might still sew up these corner seams. I didn't run them all the way up here. They have a tendency to splay open, and I think that I need for them to stay closed a little bit. So I might do that. Otherwise, not too bad. What I've learned is that I don't understand these little cloth baskets at all, even though I've made quite a few. The ones that I make and then whatever they turn out, I'm like, oh, that's a nice shape. We'll use it for putting pencils in or putting pins in, or that's fine. But if I actually want it to be a particular size for a particular purpose, that's harder. So I don't have a mathematical mind. So I need to sit down and think about it before I launch into the kids' little bags I want to make. But I only have really a week. Next week is the last week before Christmas week, and there's got to be shipping and all kinds of stuff that happens, and you got to leave time to go shopping for things. So yeah, I need to be thinking about that. Ooh. Thanks for joining me. I'm not sure if you're ever going to see this video. It might not be worth viewing. It's rather late in the afternoon. I did persevere with my idea for the boys, and I've come up with this one. Now, the base along the fold was 4 inches, and the square cutouts on either side were 2 inches on each of their sides. And then the height of the side of this is about 8 inches. Now, this one was taller, about 9, so I would have enough edging to go on the inside and finish it off. But I think that's going to work well Here's a little plastic bag with one boy's trains in it, and it's a good fit, okay? And I'd like to maybe just do a little Ziploc closure on the top. I could even do a pair of handles, or I could do one handle from end to end so they could carry the bag around. That's an idea. I better get the second bag made before I start thinking of Velcros and handles. But for now, this is an ideal size. Bright colors, stiff enough but soft enough. You know what I know they're going to do? They're going to do this. I think their heads are even too big for that. Okay, so bag number 1 for boy is done. Bag number 2 will have to wait till next week. My weekend is cram-packed. Oh, there's Leo. See you next time. Bye. These bags turned out super cute, and I'm very, very pleased with them. You know, you can use this kind of pattern to make a little bowl as small as this or a bag as big as this with a handle. And I like the feel of this so much. I think I'm going to make one for myself. I like how tall it is. It's got a nice square bottom so it'll sit by itself. And wouldn't that be a nice small knitting project bag to take along with you? Boy, I think so. I could even put a little pocket on the inside if that were helpful. And I could put other little bags inside that hold little scissors and seam rippers and stuff like that. So there's the Christmas bags, and I've got the little gift bag of trains in each one. And later on they can carry as many trains or cars or whatever as they want in there, and it's easy to grab. And I decided against the Velcro because I think that would just be fussy and hard for them to handle.